Well, hi everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and I just need to tell you I'm sorry. I tried to get up on that original link, and for some reason it just didn't want to show me the chat. And there's nothing worse than not being able to see the chat for me. It feels so strange. So welcome to everybody, and I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas. We had a fun broadcast at lunchtime today where we were discussing we were discussing some of the fun things that happened to me yesterday. So what I wanted to do is just let you know. Hi there, Jody. Um, uh, I just wanted to let you know that okay, I just need to make sure that I send somebody the link. Jody, could you send me the link that you are on? Because sometimes that is different from the one that I have. I just want to make sure it's the same one. Hi, Autumn. Good to see you. Welcome, and a Merry Christmas time to you guys as well. Anyway, I'm just going to explain this a little bit. I just had to change the feed at the last moment because it wasn't going to show me any of the... there we go. Thank you very much, Jody. Whoops. And of course, disappeared off my screen as fast as I saw it. Hang on one second, everybody. We are going to get to this broadcast. We're talking about having a bit of a smile today. And here we go. Thank you very much, Jody. I appreciate that. I just want to get these up onto Facebook and Twitter just so that people know that we've changed the feed. So I'm hoping that you've all had a good Christmas time. And if you've got any funny stories, make sure that you share them with us, because that's really what we're going to be talking about, some smiles around Christmas. I found some really quite cute quotes around Christmas that I thought would make you smile. And you know, lunchtime is always about learning a new skill. And we were talking about getting out of our comfort zones today. And then the one that we do, of course, my computer is now going to be so slow, it's not even funny. Anyway, and then the one we do today is about smiling. And the one we do on Sundays normally, and we do that on Sunday at 3:30, is what we call our almost meditation one. But there will not be a broadcast this Sunday, just so that you know. And the reason is a good one. I'm going down to see Benji, Judy, and the children. And the only time that I can see them is on Sunday evening. And so I'm sure that you would all want me to get to enjoy them at this time of the year. And so I will be driving down on Sunday after lunch and then staying the night and then coming home again. All right, so I've put it up there. Now let me put it up on Twitter, and then we can get on with life. So if you're writing to me, I'm not on the right screen at the moment, but I will be in just a second. I just want to make sure that I've got the link up for both. Somewhere. Come on now. Okay, I'm just going to put the link onto Twitter, and there we go. All right, so there we go. Wow, okay, all sorts of things happening here. So hi, Isabel. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Beth. Good to see you. Erin's back again. Good to see you, Erin. Hi, Benj. Good to see you as well. All right, so here I was busy talking about Benji, Judy, and the children, and Benji was here. So that is why I will not be doing a broadcast on Sunday, everybody, because I'll be on my way to Benji and getting a hug from everybody, which you know is really, my joy. And Benji, I was just thinking, I don't think I've been down to see you since your birthday. And I'm going, I think that was quite a while ago. So this is very exciting for me. So we're going to be having some fun smiles about Christmas. So if any of you got any stories about Christmas that were funny, oh, here comes Beth's, right? Beth saying funny story. Lucas, that's her grandson, asked to get a hard-boiled egg. and he came in crying because he grabbed a regular egg, not a cooked one, and he bit into it. Oh, the poor kid. Oh, that is so sad. Well, Beth, I was telling people at lunchtime that my funny story was I went to go and have lunch with, my son Dougie and his girlfriend. And and I was meant to go there and spend the afternoon and come home. I didn't start driving home until 2 o'clock in the morning. That's I was having so much fun. And I managed to pick up a new son while I was there. This great guy was there, and he just said, "I want to be your son." Yeah, this huge, he was about 6 foot something, big guy, also a Kenyan, and he's, it was the way he said it. He said, "Mama Sal, I'm going to be your son." And I went, "Really, honey? Okay." And it was just, he wasn't the sort of guy you were going to argue with. You know what I mean? And I'm still trying to find out why. If I find out why he decided that, I'll let you know. Anyway, but it was funny. It was just like, who would have thought, I peg out so quickly these days, but literally I was there at 1 o'clock and I didn't leave until 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was the only one not drinking, I think, because I knew I was going to drive, so I wasn't drinking. And it was so funny. I was still having loads and loads of fun. I really enjoyed it. So how about this one? My first, while the rest of you are typing. Yeah, I'm a party animal at heart. Shh, shh, don't tell anybody. Actually, but you guys know I'm capable of going 24 hours without sleep or more like 36 to 48. I've got a lot of training of that way before December. I've got a lot of training on how to stay awake when I really need to. So, it's like it went into practice. So how do you like this one? Christmas, the only time of the year you can sit in front of a dead tree eating candy out of socks. I thought that was cute. Yeah, and so isn't that the truth there, really? And I found this one and it said, Christmas is a time when everybody wants his past forgotten and his present remembered. Yeah, and I did fail miserably on that one as well, because I had been asked, not to take any presents, and I agreed to that at the time. But I found it almost impossible. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but it was just like, how do I go visit somebody, and be invited to lunch and go visit them and not take anything? I don't know about the rest of you, but it's like not in my DNA that I take absolutely nothing. So it was just so cute. So I had to ask for forgiveness because I did take a couple of things with me. Andy Rooney, if any of you are old enough to remember Andy Rooney, he said, one of the most glorious messes in the world is the mess created in the living room on Christmas Day. Do not clean it up too quickly. And some of you, but how many of you open your presents on Christmas Eve rather than on Christmas Day? And how many of you have got your living room back to normal in terms of tidiness? I'm pretty sure I can think of a couple that would, but my kitchen is still struggling, and I actually have seriously started packing now. Between the two broadcasts, I packed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes between the two broadcasts because I realized that I have got 2 weeks before I start literally the move. Hi, Autumn. Oh, so Autumn's saying that we do our stockings on Christmas Eve, gifts on Christmas Day, and I clean it up as soon as I can. Right. And then Beth is saying it was a tornado Christmas morning, toys everywhere. Did they love those big Disney toys that you got, Beth? Because they were so great. And by the way, Beth, I wonder if you could just watch out for Jody as well, because there's a possibility she might have to go back for another scan, just so that I know that you'd appreciate that, because you're going back as well. So I thought the two of you could support each other. Yes, they love them. Okay, they love their big. Beth got them great sort of, almost human size Disney. One was a Mickey Mouse, and what was the other one? A Minnie? I can't remember what the second one was, but it was they were just so cute. Larry Wilde must have been Mrs. Wilde's little boy, because I have no idea who he is, but he said, never worry about the size of your Christmas tree. In the eyes of children, they are all 30 feet tall. Isn't that true? All right. And in fact, for children, any tree that is too big for them to reach, close to the top, to them it's too big, because they miss half of it, right? I think children like a tree where they can, put the angel on top and we can lift them up so they can do that. But I always think that sometimes the tree gets to be too big. My sister was telling me that what she did this Christmas was she left the bottom part of her tree. Yeah, I hit my tree right then. She dropped the bottom part of her tree off, which I thought was very clever. So she normally has like a 9-foot tree, and she just dropped the bottom section off, never put it on, and put the 3/4 of the tree up. So it probably ended up about the size of mine, which is pretty still quite big, but just makes it a nice size tree. And how many of you can remember your Christmas tree from when you were children? All right, Autumn is saying, every year we get a Christmas tree that's a little too tall. We always accidentally make a mark on the ceiling when we take it down. I can see the mark right now from last year. Yeah, but Autumn, what we were saying at lunchtime is, we know life is about memories, not about things, right? And it's those marks on the ceilings that are where the memories are. A perfect tree that went up perfectly and came down perfectly, nobody remembers. But the one that you just got it up and it fell over, you'll be talking about that one for a long time. Or the turkey that got burned and we all had to have burgers instead, that sort of thing. People remember that. They don't remember perfection, they remember reality, when it's human. So Beth is saying the grandkids don't even notice that I've got a tree up. I wrapped all the presents in white and built a snowman with the wrapped presents with bows as buttons for each kid. They loved it. What a lovely idea. That is really cute. So you gave each of them a little snowman stack. What a wonderful idea, Beth. Do you have any pictures? Because if so, please send me one and let me know if I can share it with the viewers, because it sounds like a wonderful idea. A truly wonderful idea. Yeah. It's the sort of thing that is so creative that other people will go, oh, I've got to try that. And I like this one. It said, let's be naughty next year and save Santa the trip. I don't know why, but that really appealed to me. Erin's saying, I remember our Christmas tree. It was my grandma's old tree, and when she didn't have enough energy to put it up, she gave it to us. I remember the stuffed toy soldier ornament that we used to cover the whole right in the middle of it. Oh, awesome. Yeah, you see, this is the whole thing. It's the imperfection that we remember, not the perfection. And most children, I think one of the joys is when children get old enough that they, can remember and enjoy an individual Christmas. It's not just a blur. And Jodie's saying, I remember one Christmas when I was a child. And we had the tree all beautifully dressed and decorated. And then one evening, our Dachshund called Pretzel jumped up on an ornament, and you all know what happened. The 6'5" tree. And I'm sorry to laugh, but to me, it's like, I bet, there was this sort of moment of denial. No, please tell. Then, um, but I'm certain that everybody remembers that particular Christmas, right? It was a scene. I can imagine. And was it a real tree? Because if it's a real tree, it makes even more mess. You know what I mean? All those pine needles everywhere, but I do miss the smell of a real tree. It was a fake tree. Okay, so that still makes a big mess, but not quite as bad as a as a real one. Mm. So Victor Borger, for those of you who know Victor Borger or knew of him, said this. He said, Santa Claus has the right idea. Visit people only once a year. Yeah, it was it was so funny because um one of the people that I met, the guy that now has decided he wants to be a son, 6 foot whatever he was, you know, I found out that he has been Dougie's friend for just about as long as I've known him. Nearly, anyway. I think I've known Doug slightly longer. And at one point he said to me, "Why have I never met you before?" And you know me, I looked at him and I said, "They keep me hidden." And by now you've probably worked out why. And the guy just cracked up. But I said, I really have no idea why we've never run across each other before. Because, I've been to functions, where Doug's friends have been, but for some reason we'd always missed each other. All right, so Autumn's saying, my favorite memories are going out to the tree farm and cutting our own trees. We do with our kids and give them the same memories. What a wonderful thing. I don't think I could ever do a fake tree. Autumn, there comes a time when you probably will. So yes, and I know, that is a lot of fun for a lot of families to go out and pick your tree and then bring it home and, then turn it into sawdust, after Christmas. Okay, so this one is interesting. It said, nothing is as mean as giving a child something useful for Christmas. I always fall into this trap because one of the things right from the very get-go that I remember Benji and Judy always asking for me, if you're going to buy the children anything, please make it educational. And so I do try and, make sure that I do, if I buy them anything that it has some educational bit to it. But, how can I not buy the kids candy, right? It's just like the kid in me wants candy. I'm sure that, and I just have to hope that they can divide it out properly. One year, your mother bought Lauren say. Lauren saying 1 year her mum brought her a toilet brush. Beth saying that she actually bought a couple of presents for Peanut. That was her dog. The first Christmas without him. Lucas and I will be donating them to the animal shelter. What a wonderful idea. You had already bought them. That's so cute that you did that. And a good experience for Lucas, to help him learn about grieving. I'm a great believer that children do need to learn about grieving, and it's like being able to turn something that sad into something that is that good. I think is wonderful. So good to see you there, Lauren. And Lauren obviously has Christmas way before the rest of us because she's sitting in Australia. And I do want to tell you all that I did hear from Oz. Oz and I sort of chatted over just before Christmas, and we insulted each other the way we always do, and all is good. And I think he's just about finished college now. He went back to go and do a college course of some sort, and I think he's finished now. If I understood, if I understood him correctly, but you never quite know what to believe with Oz. Now, somebody said, do give books, religious or otherwise, for Christmas. They are never fattening, seldom sinful, and permanently personal. Did any of you get any books for Christmas? I know, and we know that Lauren did. Lauren actually got a Kindle type. What's your Kindle type thing called? It's not a Kindle, I know that, but it's a version of it, right? And you're busy reading a book by Ellen DeGeneres, I think. So I wonder if anybody else got books for Christmas, either on digital or not. And the other thing I'd like to remind us all is we did survive it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure we all had a moment there where we thought, I'm never going to survive this year, the same as you've thought every other one. But we have survived it. And I definitely have found that spacing Christmas out on different days for different people is a really good idea. You get to just enjoy it much more than trying to do it all on one day. And who said this? Garrison Keeler said, the lovely thing about Christmas is that it's compulsory. It's like a thunderstorm, and we all go through it together. You got a Kobo. Okay. And it is amazing, Lauren, how many books you can get for free. And if you don't know where, then I will try and find the link again. Actually, Jody, what is it? The Open Library, was it that we found them? Jody, where you could get free PDF books to read on a Kindle or something like it. I actually read a lot of my stuff on my tablet as well. I just use my tablet as a Kindle because you can download the PDF. All right, Jody's saying, I didn't get any books this year, but I was happy to receive some cross-stitch supplies. That's awesome. You got a really nice care package as well, didn't you? Jody, if I remember, you telling me about it. Somebody sent you wonderful cheeses and crackers and meats and things. What a lovely, when you're on a tight budget, to have somebody send you a basket like that must be awesome. I've got one here that somebody bought for me. It's a basket of stuff, but I'm pretty sure I can't eat most of it. And the reason I say that is, as some of you know, I'm allergic to garlic. And hang on a second, let me lift this up and see what I can find here. So, it's Italian something or other. That's bound to have some garlic in it. And then here's another one. French style, pesto, bound to have garlic in it. So I will have to break this open and share it amongst my friends so that they can enjoy it, rather than waste the things. Somebody, we don't know who, it's anonymous, said, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. But if the white runs out, I'll drink red. How many of you know that feeling? Yeah, after the first bottle, you're not so fussy. Yeah, that's right. Jody's saying her sister-in-law and brother-in-law sent the basket, and how thoughtful that was of them. All right, so this one is funny as well. It says that 3 wise women would have asked for directions, arrived on time, helped deliver the baby, brought practical gifts, cleaned the stable, made a casserole, and there would be peace on earth. Anybody want me to read that again? That really amused me, of course. Yeah, please read it again. Okay, here we go. Had it been three wise women, they would have asked for directions, arrived on time, helped deliver the baby Jesus. They would have brought practical gifts, cleaned up the stable, made a casserole, and there would be peace on earth. And I wish I could tell you who said that, but unfortunately, it was that well-known writer, Anonymous. We really have no idea who it was that said that. I loved it too, Jody. I just cracked up when I saw that. And Dave Barry, for those of you who know, used to write a comic strip, right? Dave Barry, I think. Anyway, he said, once again, we've come to the holiday season, a deeply religious time that each of us observes, each in her own way, each his or her own way, by going to the mall of their choice. Pia, hi there, Pia. Good to see you. Pia said, I bought myself 3 books for Christmas by Mark Manson and Scar Tissue about the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Wow. That is amazing. Yeah, I think biographies or autobiographies are always interesting to read. All right, so this comes from Stephen Graham Jones, and he said that some people are born for Halloween and some are just counting the days until Christmas. How many of you are more Halloween minded than Christmas minded? You know, I think there is some truth in that. Some people really enjoy Halloween and others really, really enjoy Christmas. Erin's saying it's a perfect. I'm going to use that one to make someone laugh, someone who really needs it, one of my girls. And that's so funny. And the same reason why there should be a woman president. Yes, if we get the right woman president, though, we have to be a bit careful about that one. However, what I'm hearing is you would like the link to these quotes, Erin, and Jody will remind me to send it to you because she's like that. You know, she does that, helps me. All right, so here are some family Christmas quotes for you. Christmas Eve, a perfect night to express affection for your family, to forgive those who have failed you, and to forget past mistakes. Yeah. For a little while, right? The best of all gifts around the Christmas tree, the presence of a happy family all wrapped up in each other. I must say that was my experience on Christmas Day. You know, really, it was a room without presents, just a room full of adults. And there were, what, 6 of us? 2, 4, 6, 7 of us, because, you know, Sal was the odd one out. There were just 7 of us. And we just talked and laughed and just learned from each other. It was just an amazing, you know, 13 hours, 13 hours that went by very, very quickly. And this went from home to home and heart to heart, from one place to another. The warmth and joy of Christmas brings us to each other. Yeah. All right, now how's this one? This one from Harlan Miller said, probably the reason we all go so haywire at Christmas time with the endless, unrestrained, and often silly buying of gifts is that we don't quite know how to put our love into words. And you know, it was amazing at the Christmas meal that I was at, where you know I think we did 2 different rounds of talking about what we appreciated with the people in the room, even though you know for the large part there were 4 people I'd never met before, And obviously there were 4 people who'd never met me before. And yet, it was amazing how easy it was to find gifts in their, in meeting them in such a short space of time. If you really want to, it's actually amazing. Um, and I thought that was beautiful. I really did. Erin said, I bought myself a book. It's the wife's story of someone with a severe muscular dystrophy disability who runs his own business, has a YouTube channel, and is very well. Okay. Not quite sure what the Wells Fargo after Poe speaker is after. Hmm. Okay, you'll help me with that in a minute, I'm sure. It's called Laughing at My Nightmare. What a what a perfect and very funny title. Yeah, but also very true, right? It is a nightmare. I do understand that, but it's also, I don't know if you've ever seen the guy that was born without arms and without legs and is a professional speaker, and he literally, jumps up onto a table. How he does it, I just beyond me. I think he jumps up onto a chair and from the chair onto the table. No arms, no legs. Every time I see that guy, I think, and what's my excuse? And really, what is my excuse? Because amazing what this man does. And he swims and he, you name it, he does it. He just an amazing talent. But don't you think that's true? Hi, Nyasha. Good to see you, honey. And by the way, we got an update from Nyasha about her mum. Her mum is doing a lot better, but still having a little bit of problem, eating bits that are a little bit too big and choking. For those of you who don't know, she had quite a serious throat operation a couple of months ago, but she's on the mend, and that's wonderful. Marjorie Holmes said, "At Christmas, all roads lead home." So how many of you have got into that stage where, you're not quite sure which home to go to anymore, because you've got your family and their family and then the other people's family and then the family's family, and it, it gets to be quite a juggling act. But, I think if we all remember to stay in the spirit, the day in which you visit is irrelevant. Yvonne and I, still haven't quite decided when we're going to do our Christmas because we've both had so many commitments going on. But we will do it. And we will exchange presents one night very quietly, and it may be into January. I think we have done it as late as January sometimes. So, did anybody go carol singing? And that's what I wanted to ask. Um, I must say that in the community that I'm about to move into, that's one thing, I don't know why, that strikes me as something that, I might be doing, is carol singing, because it is a small community, that within itself. And, I'm not quite sure how many different houses there are in there, but it is quite a small one. And I was thinking, it actually would be fun to just walk around singing carols. You don't actually have to stop at anybody's door, just keep walking. And I'm pretty sure that a number of you, Beth is saying, I sang to Lily. She loves to, when she loves it when I sing to her. And your favorite carol, Beth? It's funny, one of my favorites is The First Noel. And the reason is it's the only carol I know the descant to. When everybody else goes down, then I can go up on it. And it's just like, but it scares the so-and-so out of a lot of people because, if you're not ready to hear the descant, it definitely, everybody starts off thinking that you've got it wrong, but you haven't. It's just the descant that of that particular carol. And I don't know why, of all the carols that I sang descant to, that is the only one that I really remember. Okay, so here comes Santa Claus. Right, that's a fun one to sing. Yeah. And the Grinch and Dr. Seuss. You probably remember this quote really well. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. All right? And Jodie's saying, I love the idea of singing carols and strolling around the neighborhood. It's just so charming. Well, you know, with my luck, next Christmas will be pouring with rain. But I will be amongst new people, and we'll all be sort of an age. So maybe I can get a little group of us together, and that we can do that with our walkers and bifocals. How many of you got this vision now? And cheat sheets, because I can never remember the words. Um, and how many of you would totally agree with this one? It's not what's under the Christmas tree that matters. It is who is around it. Yeah. All right. So now that's a great subject, Pia. Thank you. Pia is saying the best Christmas movies for her are Home Alone and Home Alone 2. How about the rest of you? What is your favorite Christmas movie? All right. Some of you are going, anything that starts with the word Hallmark. And probably has the word Prince in it. Uh, but it is. I mean, I still shake my head and go, I had no idea there were that many eligible princes in Europe. I would have stayed in Europe had I known. Love Actually. Yes, that is a fun movie, isn't it? The Holiday. Yes, The Holiday is a great one. I love that. And have you seen The Last Holiday? I don't know if you've ever seen that. That was what is her name? Queen Latifah. I love to watch that at Christmas for some reason. Um, where she actually gets diagnosed with a terminal illness and goes on the holiday of her dreams. And I always think that is. Oh, hi, Danielle. Yeah, Danielle saying she loved that as well. Yeah, to me, it was just like, we have to. Jody, I was trying to find The Family Stone. I cannot believe that I've never seen it. I haven't. Emmett Otter, I've never seen, and Christmas Vacation. That sounds like that sounds like Chevy Chase. And Danielle, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. And how about this for a wonderful Christmas prayer? And it says, Guardian angel, pure and bright, please lead Santa here tonight. And Rochelle Goodrich said, Christmas is like candy. It slowly melts in your mouth, sweetening every taste bud, making you wish it could last forever. And of course, all right. So Niesha's also, she loves watching Home Alone, right? It's my start to my Christmas. That's awesome that so many of you have. Erin's saying, my dad always said the first Noel was my song. Really? And written for me because my middle name is Noel. He chose my name so it would always have a special song. Wow. Isn't that amazing? And it's my favorite song, my favorite carol. um, Jody, we just call Jody, Daniel. Don't worry about the rest of it. That takes a lot of typing. from deep South Alabama. Yeah. And then, of course, Bing Crosby sang, and I'm not going to do that for you, but he did. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Um, and if the white runs out, then try red. Yeah, I love that one. I am never going to hear a white Christmas the same way again. I had never heard that until I found it today, and I'm going, that is so cute. I'm going to just remember to repeat that. Yes, Beth is saying it was almost 70 degrees here in Kentucky on Christmas Day. Everybody was wearing shorts. It was weird. We had somebody at lunchtime, Beth, from Indiana, telling us it was 70 degrees there. Isn't that amazing? Mind you, it's been pretty mild here, I must say. It was quite honestly, it was just on freezing when I drove home on Christmas Day. Well, actually, it was Boxing Day morning that I drove home at 2 o'clock in the morning. But it was, it was definitely chilly. Christmas magic is silent. You don't hear it, you feel it. You know it, you believe it. Isn't that lovely? And Christmas, and this is from Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. Christmas isn't about candy canes or lights all aglow. It's the hearts that we touch and the care that we show. So that would be my next question. Did anybody touch your heart this Christmas? All right. That's, I definitely, I must admit, when that 6 foot whatever, James looked at me and said, Mama Sal, you've just got a new son. And I just went, what did I do? I still don't know what I did that made him say that, but he meant it. I want to tell you, the look that he gave me was, you have just got yourself a new son. And I went, okay, honey. And Pia saying, well, here in Australia, it's summer, of course, yes. And that's Lauren is down that way as well, Pia. And we're kind of in a state of emergency because of the bushfire season. But we have other problems like water restrictions and the drought. Yes, you've had a terrible drought over the last couple of years, in fact. From what I remember listening to other viewers that came from Australia. Yeah, Lauren down in Tasmania. And how about this one? This is love what is in the room with you at Christmas. If you stop opening presents and just listen. How many of you actually just love to watch people unwrap their presents? All right. It's always very difficult for me because Yvonne's birthday is on Christmas Day. And, she shares her birthday with some pretty important people in the world. And so, but I always feel so sorry for her that she has her birthday on Christmas just because, people are inclined to, sort of not double up on presents, but just give her a couple more rather than celebrate her birthday. So what I try and do is always in the sort of either the summer or early autumn, I make sure I buy her a birthday present. And I always say to her, this is your early birthday present so that you can have a birthday present. So Niasha's saying that's so true. There's a special feeling that can be felt only on Christmas Day and no other. I don't know what it is, but that day is different from all the rest of the days. I quite agree with you, Niasha. And Danielle says, I do watch my nieces and nephews, watching them opening their gifts. My sister's kids, her ages are from 9 to 10 months. It's the best thing ever. I totally agree with you. Watching children open up presents is amazing. Pia said, "Yo, yes, especially nieces and nephews. Their faces literally glow of sunshine." You know what I thought was absolutely magical? Benji's daddy, Grampy, for those of you who know Grampy, actually sent me. I'm gonna cry now. Grampy actually sent me video of the children opening up their presents. And I wrote to him, and I just didn't have the words to thank him for that. I thought it was so incredibly thoughtful of him. The screams and yelps and everything else. He just sent me this little clip, and I just said to him, that was probably the greatest, Christmas present he could have thought of. It was just so special and so kind of him to let me be witness to that, if you like. Peg Bracken said, "Gifts of time and love are surely the basic ingredients of a truly Merry Christmas." Hi, Swapnali. Good to see you again. Yeah, big hugs to you as well. Yes, I had a wonderful Christmas. Thank you. And how many of you have done that? How many of you have actually, written a little, maybe a little gift card and goes, "This is the gift of time"? I have one friend of mine that every Christmas she will make up a complete year's worth of little vouchers for her mum. And this is the gift of a movie for us to take together in February. And in March, this is this is you tear this one out because I'm taking you to dinner. And then in April, we're going out to pick daffodils or whatever. And it was so beautiful because, she just has 12 little coupons in the book every year that the mother gets to cash in. And I thought that was such a wonderful way to do Christmas because you're doing it all year long. And Jody's saying, "So many beautiful people blessed me this year just by knowing that they were thinking of me and sending well wishes and a hug. When somebody takes time out of their day to do that, you can feel the love." Well, duh, Jody. And did you by any chance do that for other people? Yeah, that you give to the world comes back, Jody. "Blessed is the season which engages the whole world in a conspiracy of love." Isn't that lovely, right? Let's have a conspiracy of love this year. And Brigham Young, that's Seventh-day Adventist, isn't it? Brigham Young said, "Love the giver more than the gift." Ah, yeah, she sure did. See, Lauren's also saying that yeah, Jody sure did a great job of thinking of other people. And listen to Jody's comment. "Well, I may have sent you well wishes, yeah." Is that what you call it? Okay. Dale Evans said, "Christmas, my child, is love in action. Every time we love, every time we give, it's Christmas." Yeah, Erin's saying that a couple of people touched her heart this Christmas. And I know that. And I'm pretty sure one of them was Jody. And that to me is so magical. And yes, I know who the other one was. So that is awesome, Erin. Yeah, it was cute because Erin sent Jody, and actually Jody, I forgot to tell you, she also sent me the picture of the time when I actually met Erin. Erin, may I share it if I can find my phone? There it is. May I share it? I'll have to wait to get the answer on that one. Um, all right, so Danielle's saying Christmas was good till we had 2 deaths in the family. One cousin passed Christmas night and one yesterday morning. But you got a new great niece. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing how that happens? One family member passes and we get sent another one. Okay, I'm just waiting to find out from Erin if I can share the picture of the two of us. This was what, 4 years ago at least, maybe more, 5. Erin, you probably remember more than I do in terms of what year that was. I'm not seeing a timestamp on the photo, I don't think. Anyway, I'll wait to get permission to share it. But it really was a really cute picture that we took. And how about this one? Love came down at Christmas. Love all lovely, love divine. Love was born at Christmas. Star and angels gave the sign. I'm still thinking back about, if there'd been 3 wise women, they would have brought practical gifts. I don't know why that cracked me up so much, but it was a great quote. But you know something, Danielle, just so that I make sure that you hear me on this. Obviously, we are all so sad to hear of the passing of members of your family. That's so difficult when that happens at Christmas time for everybody, right? Yeah, you're right, Erin. Erin's saying, does Jody not touch everybody's heart that she meets? I think you're right on that one, Erin. Yeah, and Danielle, I'm a great believer that if you can think about, I am certain that they probably hung on for Christmas. You know what I mean? That it's so often that people just go, I want to make it to Christmas, and they do. Just, and it is absolutely amazing how that happens. Erin, I'm not showing this picture unless you tell me it's okay. So I'm just going to leave it. Oh, of course you can. Okay, everybody, are you ready for this? Erin, how many years ago was it? Can you remember? There's the two of us. And how could I ever forget that smile? It was just so magical. And my angle is slightly weird because I'm actually trying to lie on the bed with Erin. Because as some of you know, Erin is bedridden for the most part. And I really wanted to be at eye level with her. It was so important. But, it is a memory. Yes, those 2 smiles together are pretty dazzling, right? It was a memory I will cherish forever. I am so glad that, we did that trip and that I got to meet her. Norman Vincent Peale said that Christmas waves a magic wand over this world, and behold, everything is softer and more beautiful. Wouldn't you agree with that? That, what a pity we can't have that feeling all year. And the question is, why can't we? Right? Why can we not have that feeling all year? We get so tied up with things and upset with things. And, I think the lesson that we have at Christmas is it is possible to just hide those things away for one day and just be happy. And again, this is from Bob Hope. Bob Hope said, when we recall Christmas past, we usually find that the simplest things, not the great occasions, give off the greatest glow of happiness. All right? The simple things are what people remember. Let me ask you, what in all your memory of all your Christmases, what was your favorite Christmas gift? Can you remember? I'm trying to think what mine was. I have to say, although probably some of you know this of me, are not surprised, I would probably say that one of my favorite Christmas gifts was to be in love and go all the way to Maine, and spend Christmas in the woods in Maine in a chalet. Uh, and, literally dig my way into that chalet or cabin, whatever you want to call it. Um, it was the most amazing Christmas scene. And it was just, big roaring log fire in a log cabin, just awesome. Praying that the whole thing didn't freeze up. But it was just such a gift to me. I've never done that. Just had Christmas with two people together, not, lots and lots and lots of people. It was really awesome. Yeah, Erin's saying the picture was taken about 4.5 years ago. That's what I thought as well. All right, and Danielle saying, my favorite Christmas gift, Michael Jackson's History, Past, Present, Future, books and tapes. Back then in 1995. Wow. Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? So remember, that sometimes, just to give the gift of time to somebody is so important. So think about somebody who maybe, I'm thinking about you, maybe, somebody like myself in your life, that is going to be moving or whatever, and that you can just say to them, look, I didn't buy you a present because my present to you is I'm going to give you the gift of some of my time to help you. It just is that sometimes is even more valuable. Christmas is not so much about opening our presents as opening our hearts. And Orrin Arnold said, Christmas gift suggestions. To your enemies, forgiveness. To an opponent, tolerance. To a friend, your heart. To a customer, service. To all, charity. To every child, a good example. And to yourself, respect. We had a really wonderful discussion at lunchtime today where Jody and I both agreed that we have fallen into the trap of going to bed later and later and therefore getting up later and later. And that, it really is something that I want to change. And I realize to change, it means I need to go to sleep earlier so that I will wake up earlier. And that is not easy. And that's, the whole of our discussion at lunchtime was about, stretching the envelope and getting out of our comfort zones. And so to me, the good example is, to respect myself enough to change my habit because the habit is not serving me well. Pia saying spending Christmas Eve on a plane in the sky was different for me because I was going to China counting down. And when 12 a.m. hit, I whispered Merry Christmas and everybody was sleeping. I want to tell you something, Pia. I used to travel intentionally on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day. When I did the long flights, I used to travel, sort of 24 hours door to door. I used to do those either on Christmas Day or New Year's Day. And the reason being was because the planes were not nearly as full. And you probably get more chance of 3 seats together that you could have a bit of a sleep. But I loved it that you could be in the air and all the passengers that you didn't know wishing other people a Merry Christmas. And I'm sorry that everybody was sleeping because the flights that I've been on, champagne bottles were popping come, that time rather than quiet, especially on New Year's Eve. All right, so Jodie's saying in 1997, our first holiday together, Lionel surprised me with a KitchenAid mixer. I was so happy I cried. Yeah. And so many people would say don't ever give anybody a kitchen equipment for Christmas. But you got to know the person, right? And this is Carolyn Wells said, I love Christmas tide, and yet I notice this each year I live. I always like the gifts I get, but how I love the gifts I give. And I would have to say that, however small my gifts may be, I do enjoy giving. Erin saying she has a memories of her pony that her daddy bought her when she was 11. She was specially trained for disabled children, and you didn't have to give her any special commands. That is incredible. I didn't know that, Erin, or if I did, I forgot about that. And Beth is saying the best present was Peanut. He gave me so much. That's her little dog that passed recently. He gave me so much friendship, unconditional love. He knew when I was in my own world and would never leave my side. I no longer am in my own world, and I think he knew that. Wow. He could let go because he did his job. You bet. But you know something, Beth, I would also really encourage you, to find another dog because there's so many dogs that need you and need the love that you give, because that unconditional love goes both ways, right? And Erin's saying, if you told her this was her pony, if you told her to go to the right, she would go to the right. And if you said go left, she would go to the left. So you didn't have to work hard at pulling on the reins or trying to, that is beautiful. That is truly beautiful. And it's funny because I was on a dog team once, not not running, but sitting. Um, but actually, I was on a dog team once, standing at the back, horrified to find out that you don't say mush. I mean, how could all those movies have got it so wrong? I was really upset about that. But anyway, I think great memories of the Great White North. I was up in Yukon, up in the Yukon, literally, with a dog team going across Lake Laberge, and it was just so amazing at that time of the year. Judy's saying, that is amazing. What an amazing gift, Erin. Yes, the pony must have been an incredible gift. So Walter Scott, very well-known writer, said, heap on wood, the wind is chill, but let it whistle as it will keep our Christmas merry still. How many of you have memories of wood fires whistling? Some of you will know this of me and some of you won't, but I grew up in a house that was over 300 or maybe even 400 years old. And you could literally walk into the fireplace. I want you to imagine sort of Downton Abbey type fireplaces where you literally could walk in and sit down in the fireplace area. It was amazing, and the house was so old that the walls actually were in the dining room were tooled leather, if you can imagine that. It wasn't wallpaper; it was pure leather that had been tooled, and the matching chairs that went with it. And when you think back to the amount of history that was just in that one dining room alone, it was amazing to me. Just amazing. And so to me, I have great memories of Christmas in that house and those fireplaces and the wood, whistling. I certainly remember that because, most of the major rooms had fireplaces, including the bedrooms. And it was really, a magical way, quite honestly. I was very, very blessed to have grown up in such an environment. And the miracle on 34th Street said, Christmas isn't just a day, it's a frame of mind. Isn't that true? How about this one? At Christmas, make good cheer, for Christmas comes but once a year. And it definitely is my sort of goal this year to try and make Christmas happen for more than just one day a year. W.T. Ellis said, it's Christmas in the heart that puts Christmas in the air. Right? That whole meal that I went to on Christmas afternoon, it was just so delightful. It was so the perfect meal. No turkey, right? We had 3/4 of the table were vegan, so we didn't have turkey. Gee, shame. I had 2 steaks that day. Um, what a gift. And good ones too. So it was just it was just magical. Right. Any Christmas and New Year traditions? How about you, Pia? Do you have any? Yeah, it was interesting. I saw that Benji put up something today and said, do you write your New Year's resolutions before or after New Year? And I must admit that I thought about it and I thought, you know something? I write my New Year's resolutions all year. Do any of you? I'm constantly updating and changing mine. Yeah, I think Jody knows that pretty well, but um, I literally will update mine almost every week. As I achieve ones, I add ones on, and that's it's my one step at a time process that I'm working on all the time. Yes, Charles Dickens said that as well, right? I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. That what a wonderful gift if we all could do that this year. Christmas is a tonic for our souls. Do any of you feel that? That it was a tonic for your soul. It moves us to think of others rather than of ourselves. It directs our thoughts to giving. Oh, that's interesting. Pia's saying that her mum collects 13 different fruits before New Year, and she asks to wear polka dots and put coins in our pockets for good luck. Oh, gosh. The coins in the pocket thing reminds me of my late mother. She was very superstitious, Pia. And you weren't allowed to see a new moon through a window. It was very bad luck. And if you did, you had to go outside. I know this sounds insane, but you had to go outside, with money in your pocket. That's what made me remember that, and curtsy 3 times to the moon, turn the money over and turn around 3 times or something. And I'm going, really? Today, I think I would have reacted somewhat differently to it. But I always remember that. Thank you for reminding me. And how many of you think that the best Christmas decoration is everybody's smiles? What do you think? And did any of you have a particular dish or meal that you really enjoyed? Um, this Christmas. As I said, it was the first Christmas I've ever sat down and had steaks. Dougie and I are meat eaters, and so was the 6 foot whatever James, my new son. But it was funny that half the table were serious meat eaters, and the other half of the table were all vegetarian. And it was like, how amazing is that? That you literally had these two groups of people, and I didn't give a thought to what they were eating, and I don't think they thought a whole lot about what I was eating. But I thoroughly enjoyed mine, and I was happy. This was like, boy, I'm gonna come here for Christmas again. Right. How many of you can hi Kez, good to see you. You're saying that we only have one tradition, which is your mom took over when your grand died. Sago cake. Really? Like sago yeah, I've got to go like that because sago's little balls, right? It's like tapioca but bigger. Um I want to say it's like bubble tea. Is I think bubble tea is sago. Gosh, I haven't had that for a long time. Jody, Beth is saying she made deviled eggs. You forgot to put them out. You didn't realize until the next day. Isn't that cute? That's amazing. Now, how many of you think that this is a great thing? We should put this up every year. It goes, Dear Santa, before I start to explain, how much do you already know? Okay, so Pia's saying honey glazed ham with pineapple and cranberry sauce. For dessert, a mango float. Yes, wonderful. It's a Filipino dessert. And of course, lumpia. Yeah, I mean, how can you possibly be Filipino and not have lumpia? All right, so Jody's saying we indulged in filet mignon and scallops with fondant potatoes, my favorite meal in recent memory. I am so pleased to be part of that favorite meal. That's so kind of you. Because you will remember I did the little video on fondant potatoes recently. That is so cute. And Bob Phillips said there are 3 stages of man. The first one is he believes in Santa Claus. And the second one is he does not believe in Santa Claus. And the third one is he is Santa Claus. How cute is that? And how true is that? Yeah, I just think it's beautiful. All right, Beth's saying I usually cook, but this year I worked so much I just bought everything pre-made from Costco. They didn't notice. You're so right. Beth, today you are so right. It's the same thing as we've got a thing in our house. We will no longer do the full turkey. All right. Most of us like turkey breast anyway, and we buy the stuffed turkey breast, and we love it because we're all getting exactly what we want to eat anyway, which is the stuffing and the turkey breast. So it's called. You don't have to do a full turkey to be for it to be Christmas. You need to enjoy the meal. And what was so beautiful, Beth? That I was, as you know, at Doug's for Christmas. So I didn't get turkey, and I came home and there was a note saying, if you look in the downstairs freezer or fridge, because I've got a fridge down in the garage, if you look in the downstairs fridge, there's a plate for you. And they had left me a turkey dinner. Wade and Yvonne had, made turkey dinner and left me a complete meal, turkey and Brussels sprouts and gravy and mashed potatoes and, the whole shebang. All right, Niesha saying, I'm not Filipino, but I would like to try lumpia for your birthday. Have you ever had spring rolls, Niesha? Because they're very sweet. Yes, Jody. The idea of doing a Thanksgiving type dinner a few times throughout the year, I literally do. I try and make sure that we eat turkey. Well, I used to. Obviously, when I move, it's going to be different again. But I used to make sure that we had turkey almost once a season, because it's good for you and it's healthy, and there's something very comforting about a turkey dinner. And by the way, I mean a complete turkey dinner, with stuffing and, and cranberry sauce and all the bits, right? Um, I I'm pretty sure that the wrapper would probably be available somewhere in Tobago. Um, or you could have it. You could probably buy it online. All right, so Beth is saying her favorite dessert is warm apple pie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Isn't that lovely? Yes, but Pia, she lives in Tobago. She doesn't live in North America. She's on an island off South America called Tobago. It's right next door to Trinidad. Normally the country is called Trinidad and Tobago. It's one country, but it's two different islands. And so they don't necessarily have the same type of stores that maybe you have. All right, now this one will amuse some of you. So, like Sal, this amuses me. I hope Santa leaves me a skinny body and a fat wallet, not the other way round like it was last year. I will repeat that. I hope Santa leaves me a skinny body and a fat wallet, not the other way round like it was last year. Oh, I so relate to that. Well, thank you, Jody. Jody's saying these quotes are great. I do try and find you quotes that not only make us think a bit, but also do make us laugh. All right, now how do you like this one? Me. I want a magical unicorn for Christmas. I can see Manon saying this, right? Um, I want a magical unicorn for Christmas. Santa, be realistic. Me. Okay. I want 5 minutes to myself each day to drink my coffee hot and pee in peace. Santa, what color unicorn would you like? Do I need to read it again? I definitely have got a warped sense of humor, right? Yeah, excuse me. All right. All right. So what is this one? Pia saying, Nyasha, yes, sorry, you could try and use some wonton or dumpling wrappers or egg roll wrappers. Yes, that's why I was wondering whether she'd had spring rolls at all or rice wrappers. Yes, that's what you're looking for. It's really a rice wrapper. So here's my question. Do you have any Chinese restaurants at all in Tobago? Because you might be able to ask somebody, to pop in there and see if they can let you have some. Because really, all it is just ingredients, depending what you want to put in them. Normally, it's like a little bit of rice and a little bit of pork and vegetables, but just a very small amount, and then just wrapped up in a way in this thin rice wafer, and then deep fried. Yeah, so you might, you might find that your local Chinese restaurant will tell you where you can get them. I would, have somebody check into that for you, maybe one of your family members, because I know you can't get out, but maybe they could ask. Or, and as Pia was saying, I think that if you've got an Asian market anywhere, they will have them there. They might have them under spring roll wrappers or rice wrappers, or they have different names to them, but it's all the same thing. The main thing is not necessarily ask for lumpia, because lumpia is a Filipino name, but just to say that you want to make spring rolls. Or spring rolls everybody knows, because anybody who eats Chinese knows about spring rolls, right? It is both. You're quite right, Nyasha. You've seen Benji make them, and so have I. And I have had his Judy's mom make them for me. She makes them specially without garlic because she knows I love them. And it's just like it is a labor of love. Judy's made them for me sometimes because they all know I love them. And I'm a pain because I can't eat garlic, so they have to make a special batch just for me, which is always wonderful because I don't have to share them. Then they're mine. How do you like this one? Christmas is a time when you get homesick, even when you're home. I thought that was beautiful. And Winston Churchill said, Christmas is a season not only of rejoicing, but of reflection. Yeah. And Swapnali is saying, every time Judy and Benji make lumpia, I get hungry. You and the rest of the world. I'm certain anybody who's ever watched them make it will say the same thing. Yeah, Jody's saying I do too. Yep, I do. Definitely. Because I've actually tasted them. So, you know what I mean? It's to me, it's like, I start to salivate because I know how good they taste there. How about this one? Washington Irving said, Christmas is the season. Oh, I got the hic. Christmas is the season for kindling the fire of hospitality in the hall, the genial flame of charity in the heart. Yes, and for those of you Jody, talking about the crunch of lumpia, how many of you, how many of you just love that, AS, what do you call it? Not ASM, what is it? I know I got most of the letters, but I'm missing one. Anyway, thank you. ASMR, thank you. It's just like that, just the crunch alone was just so magical, wasn't it? Now, have any of you found that at Christmas time you smile more at your neighbors or you smile more at other shoppers? And sort of not when you're late with presents. Did any of you see that little clip I put up for you guys about how to go Christmas shopping without anybody in the store? Did any of you see that? I went Christmas shopping 2 days before Christmas, and the store was empty because of the time that I went. It was magical. I was in there, got what I needed, and I was back home again within the hour. It was magical. All right, so Niesh is saying, I think Benji is a magician at cooking because I can smell the beautiful aroma through the screen of my device. Yes, Nyasha, I want to tell you, and he is so incredibly organized. When I look at the way Benji cooks and I look at the way I cook, to me, when I finish cooking, there is a tornado in my kitchen. And, I just love the way that he gets everything ready beforehand. The whole place is ready and cleaned up before he starts to cook. And I don't know if you've noticed that. And he doesn't just do it for the camera. That's the way he cooks. He measures everything out, has everything in little containers, and the whole space is clean except for those little containers that he's going to use. Now, me, I've got everything on the countertops, and I've got things on top of things on the countertops. Here. Yeah, the sound of that crunch of lumpia makes me drool a little, Kez is saying. We so agree with you. Swapnali says that, haha, Nyasha, he is indeed, and I watch before sleeping and get hungry. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, there have been times when I've actually managed it, Nyasha, where I've actually said, today I'm going to clean up as I go. And so by the time I finish the meal, I would like to have a clean kitchen. I have done it once or twice, but not very often, honey. And how about this one? May your Christmas season fill your home with joy, your heart with love, and your life with laughter. How many of you have laughed a lot this Christmas? I hope so. I can tell my voice is going. And this one says, the light in a child's eyes is all it takes to make Christmas a magical time of year. Isn't that true? And it was said that some Christmas tree ornaments do more than glitter and glow. They represent a gift of love given a long time ago. And Andy Rooney again said the Christmas tree is a symbol of love, not money. There is a kind of glory to them when they're all lit up that exceeds anything all the money in the world could buy. I really have to say that I have had the Christmas tree up longer this year than I have any other, just because I knew I wouldn't have very many Christmas decorations up. I definitely wanted the tree, and I did do my mantle, and I did do my staircase. And the next time I put Christmas decorations up, it'll be in my new house. And I will have to work out where I'm going to put the tree. And, do I do it so all the neighbors can see it, or do I do it, because I realize that everything is going to be different. Yeah, Swapnali says, Christmas is a magical time, and all the days leading up to December the 25th. December itself is magical. Yes, the Filipinos, celebrate Christmas for nearly the whole of December. It absolutely amazes me when I've been talking to Filipina. They literally they don't just do it the way that North America does it. They literally start singing carols. Do I have anybody here that's Filipino, just so that we can get the true story on this one? But it's like they start singing Christmas carols, like December 1st, and they oh, Pia saying, yes, we start in September. Right, I was wrong. You start singing Christmas carols in September or early October. Yeah, it's amazing, right? And and all the decorations and everything else. It's just like, you guys really do it seriously. And we think, I was amazed. I put my tree up on December the 1st, and I'm going, yeah, and some of you have had them up for even longer. Wow, Kez, that's an interesting idea. Kez is saying that maybe Nyasha can make the wrappers. Now, I don't know if you know, Kez, but Nyasha has a little bit of an eyesight problem. So it might be a bit of a challenge for her to get it that thin. So let me think. Nyasha, does your mommy have a pasta making machine, where it rolls the pasta out very thinly. But it is a good idea, one I didn't think of. That's Kez, you are very smart. Because what is it? It's just rice flour and water, right? Very good idea, Nyasha, that maybe have a look to see if you can make the wrappers. Not easy to do, but if you want to do it, it's worth having a couple of experiments. It's a very good idea. And how about this one? Charles N. Barnard said, "The perfect Christmas tree? All Christmas trees are perfect." And the one that stands out, and for all my 72 years, the Christmas tree that most stands out in my mind was one that I bought for a boyfriend. Um, and I managed to, I'm not proud of this, but I managed to break into his house and put this Christmas tree up. And it was a perfect Christmas tree, except the end, the very top of it, had a little moment, and it gave it so much character. And I just knew that was the tree. And I actually put it up inside his house. He was out on a deep sea oil well, oil drip well thing, and he was the world record holder deep sea diver. Whenever there was trouble on an oil rig, he would be flown in to go and help rescue people and so forth. And it was amazing because this was in North Africa, and it was so amazing because I literally put the tree up, and what he was a millionaire, and what do you buy a millionaire for Christmas, people? I mean, I don't know, and I certainly at that age I had no idea, and so I decided I would just buy this tree, and I would buy the decorations, and I would get into his house, and I would put it up, and I would wait for him to get. I knew roughly when he was coming back, and so I did that. And the most amazing thing was that this huge guy, because he probably was about 6'4", he literally saw the tree from outside. He looked through the window and saw the tree. And I don't mind telling you, he broke down the door to get to that tree. He literally just ran through his own front door and just broke it completely. And I must admit, actually, that's not quite true, because he actually came and picked me up, and it was whilst he was swinging me around, because he didn't expect to see me, but while he was swinging me around, he saw the tree. And if you can imagine this, talk about little things mean a lot to people, right? He saw the tree and he started to cry. This was a guy who'd had awards from the Italians had given him a special award for bravery, and for rescuing people and jumping into incredible waters to save people and all sorts of things, because that's what he did, and that was his reason for living. He was to rescue people, and here he was just crying like a baby. And what I found out was that he had not had a Christmas tree in his life since he was 9. I didn't know that. Okay. And so I really encourage you, to understand the little things do mean a lot. And the lessons from a Christmas tree: there will be light in the darkness, and we all fall over sometimes. You can never wear too much glitter. Bring joy to others. Sparkle and twinkle as often as possible. And it's okay to be a little tilted. Isn't that cute? The lessons from a Christmas tree. I've never heard that before. Be a light in the darkness. We all fall over sometimes. You can never wear too much glitter. Bring joy to others. Sparkle and twinkle as often as possible. And it's okay to be a little tilted. Um, you know, isn't that the truth, right? It is about the imperfections that we remember. It's not the perfection that we remember. And how about this one? Roy L. Smith said, "He who has not Christmas in his heart will never find it under the tree." Yeah, so Niesha is definitely picking up on the fact that she might be able to make them. She hadn't thought about using a frying pan. Yes, if you've got a crepe pan, do you know what that is, Niesha? It's a very flat pan. That also would work. Or funny enough, um, and forgive me on this one, but I think even a roasting pan, a flat roasting pan, you could probably make it on there as well. Probably easier to turn it over in a roasting pan, maybe. I don't know. Play with it, and let us know the recipe, Nyasha. And how would you like somebody to say this about you? You're a lot like some of my Christmas tree ornaments, bright, colorful, and a little bit cracked. I think there were people saying that when I left. Hi, Boob. How you doing? Good to see you. Merry Christmas to you. And so Maya Angelou said, I learned a lot. I learned that you can tell a lot about a person by the way she or he handles just three things: a rainy day, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas tree lights. I never ever have a problem with tangled Christmas tree lights. I bought a Christmas tree with the lights already on it. Much better. Yes, isn't it nice to see Boob here? Good to see you, Boob, and compliments of the season to you. Bill Murray said, "It's Christmas Eve. It's the one night of the year when we all act a little nicer. We smile a little easier. We cheer a little more. And for a couple of hours out of the whole year, we are the people that we always hoped we would be." Yeah, I must say, I felt like that on Christmas Day. I must say that that is exactly how I felt. I did not, I went and met all these new people, and I didn't try to be well behaved or, or act the perfect sort of 72-year-old type person. I just went in there and I was me, boots and all. And, and it was wonderful because I was laughing until I cried. Other people were laughing until they cried. They obviously didn't know I had a sense of humor, and a wicked one at that, because, it was just delightful to watch their reactions. And of course, the more you egg me on, the worse I become. That's the performer in me. If you give me an audience, I'm going to play to it. So Christmas Eve was a night of song that wrapped itself around you like a shawl. But it warmed more than your body, it warmed your heart, filled it too with the melody that would last forever. Isn't that beautiful? And Lewis Charles said, "What Eve is like Christmas Eve when in any land, a day so grand, so pure as Christmas Day." Now, do any of you actually like Christmas candles as opposed, and really have real candles around your house at Christmas time? because I think that is so beautiful as well, right? There's something about the glow of a real candle that is so beautiful. And these next few quotes are about Christmas um, lights, particularly. It says the Christmas candle is a lovely thing. It makes no noise at all, but softly gives itself away, while quite unselfishly it grows small. Yeah, don't you love that? Oh, Christmas lights light up the street, light up the fireworks in me. May all your troubles soon be gone. Oh, Christmas lights keep shining on. That's from Coldplay. And how about this one? There are two ways of spreading light: be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. You know that? If you can't be the candle, then be the reflection of the candle. I think that's beautiful. And Wilfred Peterson said, Christmas is not in tinsel and lights and outward show. The secret lies in the inner glow. It's lighting a fire inside the heart. Goodwill and joy, a vital part. It's higher thought and greater plan. It's glorious dream in the soul of man. And Ruth Carter Stapleton said, Christmas is the most truly Christmas. Christmas is most truly Christmas when we celebrate it by giving the light of love to those who most need it. Did any of you go and feed the hungry at Christmas time? Did any of you go give out warm coats to people who might need it? Did any of you go outside to others and minister to them in terms of, food or clothing or whatever? And if you did, then you are indeed a light. And I would thank you so much. And there's an Irish blessing, of course, about Christmas because there are Irish blessings about everything. And this one is the light of Christmas star to you, the warmth of home and hearth to you, the cheer and goodwill of friends to you, the joy of 1,000 angels to you, the love of the sun and God's peace to you. The Irish really have such wonderful blessings. And here's another one. May peace and plenty be the first to live the latch at your door, and happiness be guided to your home by the candle of Christmas. Wow. And of course, this one we're never going to hear the same way again. We have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. And whenever I hear this now, I'm going to imagine the three women instead of the three wise men, right? I mean, I'm ruined now for the three wise men. The three wise women would have just done it so differently. I'm so glad I found that quote. And this one, of course, from Luke, where it says, there were shepherds out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and glory of the Lord shone around them. I thought I'd put in a couple of biblical reminders why we do all of this. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow said, for they traveled by night and they slept by day, for their guide was a beautiful, wonderful star. Oh, you went to see your uncle who's in an old folks' home. Well done. That is the spirit of Christmas, as far as I'm concerned. That is a great gift that you gave. Even did he recognize you? Because even if he didn't, you know that you did a wonderful thing. And how many of you remember the words of the hymn, a star of wonder, star of night, guide us to thy perfect light? It's a carol, right? Pope Francis, by the way, I do want to say this. If any of you have Netflix and are at all interested in history, I really do recommend seeing the Netflix movie The Two Popes. Anthony Hopkins is in it, and I want to tell you something. It is an incredible piece of history that about the first pope to abdicate. Most popes just die on the job, so to speak. But Pope Benedict, I think, but he actually abdicated his position, and it's the story of those two popes. The one handing over to the other, and it is really. And I want to tell you that I literally sobbed in that movie watching it, and nobody died. Now that takes quite a bit, to have that much emotion in it that without somebody dying, you end up in literally. I was literally sobbing. I wasn't just a tear or two. I was sobbing. And that sounds like it's a sad movie, and it isn't. It is a really amazing movie about two incredibly um, dedicated men, but they had totally different ideas, and how Pope Francis took over, and really how he messed with everybody's mind because he didn't want to have all the pomp and ceremony that all the other popes had had. He just, he really believed in simplicity and still does. And it's amazing. It definitely was well worth watching in my view. And it did get, and the first thing I did when I'd finished was go and check how many awards did this get. Even if it's a Netflix movie, how many awards did it get? And guess what? It got about 7. So I wasn't surprised. May the beautiful lights of every holiday season remind us of him who is the source of all light. And to me, that really is what it's all about, right? To remember why we do Christmas. And to remember that, what Boob did to go and visit an uncle who is in an old age home is a great gift. I'm certain you felt good for doing it, Boob. And interested to hear that his brain still works, but the body not so good. I want to tell you that there are so many where the body still works, but the brain not so good, and it is difficult. I remember that my mom's mind was pretty good, and the body was just gave out on her. And she was bedridden for about 4 years prior to dying, and it was just like, I think it was the reason that when she did actually pass, I didn't cry. I literally said thank God. And because for her to be bedridden for that length of time, you know was her own version of hell, I think. And she wasn't like so many of our viewers that can adapt and go with the flow on things. She really did have a very um, almost perverted idea of what life should be for her, and I think was bitterly disappointed that she ended up in this situation she did. And that is why when she passed, I was not sad. I was, I just literally said thank God. And I meant it for her, not for me. Obviously, there was a huge loss to me, but I never thought about the loss to me. I could only think about that she was living a different life now, and hopefully a happy one without all those terrible things going on. So here's the countdown for those of you who enjoy the countdown. We have 11 months and 4 days till the US Thanksgiving. For those of us who are in Canada, we just have 9 months and 19 days because we have our Thanksgiving in October. And then for those of you who celebrate Easter, you have 3 months and 16 days. For those of us who are looking forward to spring, it is only 82 days away now. Isn't that amazing? Daylight savings time, or yes, it will happen 71 days from now. And for some of us, that will be heading us towards spring. And for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, Pia and Lauren, you will be heading towards autumn. Yeah. No comment. For those of you who understand what Mercury in retrograde is all about, it happens just after my final move on February the 17th. Valentine's Day for the romantics in the room is just 1 month and 18 days, so start your planning. In 1 month and 15 days, hard to believe, I will totally own my home. Isn't that amazing? And I move in 2 weeks. Yikes. I start moving in 2 weeks. So Niesh is saying, I remember when my grandma passed. It was unfortunate, but old age literally stepped in and took her out. It was slight, not severe. Yes, I think when you can see that it's not about you, it is about them, I found it makes grieving a lot easier. I've seen so many people grieve for so long, and I often ask why. And what I realize is the reason why is because they are concentrated on themselves, not on the person who passed. And we all do that in different ways, I guess. I was thinking about, Beth saying about Peanut, because the passing of Peanut for Beth was, like a member of her family. So to me, it's like, yes, no dog will ever replace Peanut. I know that because no dog will ever replace Bud or Bean Bean. But somewhere out there, there is a dog waiting for somebody like Beth to look after them. And I do pretty much know that when I move and I've got settled in, one of the things I will have pretty high on my list is to go and find a puppy that needs a home. All right, so Niesh is saying, I just want to say that New Year's is my birthday. Seeing that we won't have another broadcast before then. Well, happy birthday for New Year. That will be on Wednesday, right? So next Wednesday is your birthday? Hang on, let me just get the... Is it on the 1st or is it the 31st? Is it on New Year's Eve or is it New Year's Day? Which one, honey? Let me know whether it's the 31st or the 1st. I've got a feeling it's the 1st. So, Jody, thank you. If you can just remind me afterwards, because I need to start getting a new way of celebrating people's birthdays now that my database has got a problem. So I thank you all for being here. I need to remind, the birthday is the 1st. Okay, fine. I want to remind you all there is no broadcast on Sunday. I will be traveling down to Benji and Judy and the children, and the little kid in me will be very excited to go play with them for the night. And I will be coming back again on Monday. So I'm just there for the night. Yes, I agree with you, Boob. I like spring too. There's something, when the crocuses come out, I smile. But I have a beautiful spreading cherry tree. outside my front door at the moment. I won't have it when I move, obviously, but I always say when that starts to flower, I know it definitely is spring. It's one of the first things that flowers in the spring. We sort of, when that starts to get buds on it, I go, okay, here we go. Spring is definitely on the way. And I just so look forward to that. So maybe one of the things I will need to buy myself is another cherry tree to put in my garden somewhere so that I can watch it. Uh, I will miss many, many things from this beautiful home of mine. But it is time to start again. And that's what we were talking about as well at lunchtime, which is, really this year, step outside your comfort zone. Be the person you've always wanted to be, not the person you became. And I really do want you to think about that, because we're going to be talking about that a lot this year. If you had a magic wand and you could be the perfect person, what would you change? Boobs asked me, when am I moving? I start moving in 2 weeks. And what I did is I bought my new place, but I took 1 month of rent of the new place before I physically buy it. Does that make sense, Boob? Because I wanted a month of being able to move things over quietly before the movers did the big move. I will be moving things that mean a lot to me and putting them away in cupboards, and so they're not going to get messed about. I'll just do trips every day and just take things over that I want, and start living at the new place quietly, and so that I can empty this place and clean it and have time to do all of that. Yeah, just saying thanks, Mama Sal, for the broadcast, guys. I'd like to wish everyone the best for the coming year of 2020 and beyond. May God bless all of you. I am sure thankful and grateful to be here. Yeah, it's very nice, Nyasha, and I'm sure we all feel the same way. And Boob's saying you need time to move, so 2 homes at once for a bit. Yes, and I will pay extra on electricity and internet service and all sorts of things. But you know something? I think for me at my age, it's a better thing to do. That the one day of absolute hell, I just don't want to do. I really, I want to know that I can just do it at my own speed. So have a wonderful birthday, Nyasha, and we will look forward to seeing you in the new year. Please remember, I have put a notice up on YouTube to say that there will not be a broadcast on Sunday. But if anybody forgets, perhaps you could just tell people, if people are complaining that what happened to the broadcast, you can just remind them for me. I'd appreciate it. So all of you, my life is made that much richer by knowing all of you. My world is that much bigger by knowing all of you. And quite honestly, my life is enriched by knowing all of you. And so, yet again, I thank you all for all that you have given me and the gifts of your time and honesty and participation through the year. I know, and I hope you know, that what we do makes a difference. And I cannot do it on my own. It is because you are here walking the journey with me that it makes it memorable for people. And life really is about memories. It is not about things. And I'm pretty sure that all of you have memories of people that you have helped or who have helped you during the year. And I only hope that each of you takes the time to thank that person for whatever it is that they did to help you along the way, even if they don't realize that they did. So look after one another as usual, but most of all, in this coming year, please, please, please remember to look after yourselves. I've had a particular request by a couple of people to do a little bit about budgeting next year, because a couple of people have asked me about that. So we will be doing some skills on that, skills broadcasts on budgeting. And then we definitely are going to be talking next year about how do we become even better people. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, I'm glad you had a wonderful Christmas for those of you who did, and I trust you will have a magical new year. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, thank you so much for all that you give of your time and energy, and particularly to Jody and Lauren, who really do an incredible job during the week. They are the unsung heroes. They look after me during the week to make sure that I've got everything going at the right speed so that I can do the broadcast. And I really have to say that it is a magical gift that they give me, that of their support and time. And I am most, most grateful. I look forward to seeing you all in the new year. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.